Welcome back, everybody, to another fun episode of Geometry with Mr. Marchetti. We're talking about equations of a circle today. Now, in class, we actually talked about where the formula or the equation of a circle comes from. It comes from the distance formula. That is a really easy thing that you could look up online if you want to see exactly where this formula comes from. But I'm going to give you a couple of really easy things to work with right now. Okay, our formula is r squared equals x minus h squared plus y minus k squared. Now, r in this particular formula is the radius. Okay, so the radius of our circle is going to be this term right here. HK, these two letters, are the center of our circle. Now notice something, okay? Here they say negative h and negative k, but the center, they tell us, is positive h and positive k. What that means to you is that to find the center, you must switch the signs on h and k. Pretty basic. Okay, and you're going to see an example of that in a moment. Just remember, to find the center, switch the signs in HK. It also works in reverse. If they give you the center and you want to write the equation, you have to change the signs on the center and plug them in. Pretty basic. And r. Well, remember, r is radius, but here they give us r squared. We don't want radius squared, we just want radius. So, to find radius, we need to do the opposite of squaring, which is taking the square root. So take the square root of this value. Okay? And again, this works in the opposite direction too. If they give you radius and they want to know the formula, you would want to plug it in and square it. Okay? So you're going to see examples of both drawing a circle based off of an equation and then writing an equation based off of information. Okay? So here's the first ones that we're going to look at. This one asks us to identify the center and radius, then graph based off of this particular formula. Okay? Remember what we just said. We said that we've got h and k, and this is our r. Okay? We don't want 25 as our radius, though. We said that this is really r squared. So the radius is going to be the square root of 25, which is 5. So our radius is 5. Okay, that's one of the questions that they ask us, so let's make sure that we point that out. They also ask us to identify the center. Now, we had said that the center is the opposite of h and the opposite of k. Here, h is negative 6, so I want positive 6. And here, k is positive 2. I want the opposite of that, so I want negative 2. So our center is at 6, negative 2. What that means as far as the graph? Well, on my x-axis, I'm going to move 6, so that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and down 2. This is my center, and I have a radius of 5. Well, radius just means it's 5 units away from the center, and I can count 5 units in all directions, up, down, left, and right, because it's a coordinate plane. So I'm going to count up 5. Here's one edge. I'm going to count over 5. I'm going to count down 5. And I'm going to count over 5. Each time I did that was from my center. And I'm going to do the best I can to draw the nicest circle to these points that I can possibly make. Okay, so now I notice Here I have a radius of 5. My center is at 6, -2. And everything fits exactly as I want it. Okay? So here is one that you can try out on your own. If you'd like to copy it down, pause the video, test it out, see how you do, and resume when you're ready to check. Alright, let's see how you did. We know a radius is not going to be 4, but it's going to be the square root of 4. Remember, this is an r squared term, so we want the square root to get r. That means we have a radius here of 2. One of the questions they asked us to answer. The second thing they ask us for is the center. Center. Remember, we just want to change the signs on h and k. H is located with x. We want the opposite of 3, so that's -3. K is located with y. We want the opposite of 1, so that's -1. So we just found our center. And then all we want to do is plot. -3, -1. That's right here. I have a radius of 2, so from my center I'm going to count up 2, over 2, down 2, over 2, and make the best circle I can. So this is the radius, the center. We can see our circle has a radius of 2 and a center of -3, -1. Okay, so everything we want is right there. Here's what the circle looks like. We're doing good. Alright, I had told you that you can also work backwards. What I'm going to do real quick is write up the formula right at the top of this page again, so that we have it to look at. R squared equals x minus h squared plus y minus k squared. Okay. Now, when you look at this first problem, it tells us that we want to write the equation of a circle. So we want it to be in this form. And they give us a radius of 36. Okay. That is the radius. Oh, no, it's not. I'm sorry. The radius is 36. So, if we were to plug in 36 into this equation, that means we have 36 squared. So we're going to have to figure out what that value is. And then they give us a center located at -8, 2. This is h, and this is k. Remember, though, we want the opposite of h. So that must be +8. And we want the opposite of k, so that's going to end up being y minus 2. So what we want to do then is we want to square 36. So let's check it out. 36 squared is 1,296. All this stuff is just the same on this side. So x plus 8 squared and y minus 2 squared. That is the formula for that particular circle. Okay, here's another one that you can try out on your own. See how you do with it, and let's talk about it after. Alright. What you might notice here is this time they gave us a diameter of 50. We don't want diameter though, we want radius. So we got to remember, diameter is twice the size of radius. So if I'm talking about radius here, I'm talking about 25, not 50. And remember, our formula says we've got to square that value. So 25 squared. That's going to be equal to x opposite of 11, which is -11. Y opposite of -7, so that's +7. And all we have to do is simplify that term. 25 squared is 625. And then these terms are already how we want them. So our final answer, the equation of this particular circle, is 625 equals x minus 11 squared plus y plus 7 squared. Okay? Hopefully you got that one correct as well. Well, now we have the last set of these problems. Here they don't have the information written out. Here they give us a picture. That's fine because we can see everything we need. Everything is here. They gave us a center. Well, we just want to figure out the coordinate of that center. So here's my origin of my xy coordinate plane. I'm going over positive 3 and I'm going down 2. So my center here is 3, negative 2. And I can check my radius by just counting from the center to any one of my edges. This happens to be 4 units long. So I have all the information that I need now to plug in. Remember, what I'm doing here is 4 squared, because that's my radius, needs to be squared, equals x minus our h value, which is positive 3, so x minus 3, plus our opposite of k value, so opposite of negative 2 is positive 2, and then I just need to simplify. 4 squared is 16, and the rest of this stuff stays exactly how it is. So 16 equals x minus 3 squared plus y plus 2 squared. That is the formula or the equation of that circle. So one final one for you to try on your own. Try it out. See how you did in a minute or two. Alright, let's check it out. Here is my center located at 1, 1. I can count my radius to be 2, so I'm going to have to do 2 squared. We want to change the signs on both of these. So positive 1 becomes negative 1. Positive 1 over here also becomes negative 1. So this is what I want on this side. Radius of 2 squared gives us 4. So our final answer, 4, is equal to x minus 1 squared plus y minus 1 squared. Okay, equations of a circle, pretty easy stuff. If you can remember the formula, it's either plugging in and evaluating, or it's working backwards, taking the numbers, taking the square root, changing the signs. Okay, any questions you have, please leave them on the website or bring them into class. I would love to answer them for you as soon as we can. Until next time.